What's up, everyone? Cookie here, back in the kitchen with something sweet. Today, I'm sharing the story of how one token became the cornerstone of my entire portfolio. That's Jupiter's Liquidity Provider token, or JLP. Quick disclaimer, I hold JLP, Jupe, and Tuna, which is DeFi Tuna's governance token. But JLP is by far my largest position. None of this is financial advice. It's just me walking through what I've been doing, what I've learned, and the opportunities I'm currently exploring. Let's get into it. Throughout 2023 and 24, life got real for me in the worst way. I had to liquidate a massive chunk of my portfolio just to stay afloat. I lost my job, my home, which led me to move to a entirely new state, and I was just in survival mode. And yet, through all of that, I refused to sell just one asset, my JLP. At that time, it didn't feel like a strategy. It felt like stubbornness, conviction. But now looking back, that decision of not letting go of my JLP was what ultimately kept me in the crypto game. And it turns out that conviction paid off. My JLP bag is up over 60% in the past year. It's clear that Jupiter and JLP were a safe bet, generating me real returns, even during the months I wasn't able to add new capital. For context, JLP is now ranked 68 on CoinGecko among all crypto tokens, and Jupiter is the top protocol on Solana. TVL is one metric, around 2.7 billion locked, but what really matters is what the protocol produces. According to DeFi Llama, Jupiter generated $5.8 million in trading fees in the last 24 hours alone. But here's the thing, I didn't start buying JLP because I expected it to moon. I started accumulating my bag in January 2024, right after the Jito airdrop in December of 23. That drop landed me about 10K, but it also revealed a problem. Jito had ballooned to almost 90% of my Solana portfolio. That wasn't sustainable. So I rotated. I started hunting for something that also had utility, something I could build on top of. That's what pulled me into the JLP rabbit hole. Before the numbers looked this good, before Jupiter was dominating the fee charts, I was already stacking. Not long after, I started experimenting with yield. One of the first strategies I tried was yield.fund by Mango Markets, a leveraged position manager that let you loot your JLP for amplified rewards. It worked for a while, but eventually the project shut down and the team moved on. Still, that short stint taught me something important. JLP wasn't just a token. It was infrastructure, a Lego piece, a foundation to build on. What JLP actually is. The way I like to explain it is that JLP is Jupiter's indexed fund for liquidity. Instead of me holding just one token or farming one pool, JLP gives me exposure to a basket of productive assets: Solana, Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, USDC, and USDT. Every time someone swaps tokens or opens a perp trade on Jupiter, they're tapping into that shared pool. By holding JLP, I'm holding a slice of that engine, and the value of my token grows from three main sources. First, we have trading fees generated anytime someone opens or closes a position. Then we have trader profit and loss. When they lose, the pool gains. Then we have staking rewards from the Solana blockchain. They're auto compounded right back into the pool. That's what makes JLP different. It's not some random governance token waiting to moon. It's productive capital. It earns, it compounds, it works while I sleep. And if you go to Jupiter's app, it walks you through the entire story clearly. At the top, you've got trade, earn, and loans. And each one shows a different way JLP is part of the system. The trade tab is where the engine starts. Swaps and perps generate the fees. The earn tab is where you mint JLP. You deposit into the pool and it shows you everything: the token mix, the 1.8 billion in TVL and the 18.45% APY compounding hourly. And now there's loan, the newest Lego. You can borrow against your JLP directly from the same screen. No bridging, no waiting, just access to liquidity while still earning. Even while I was sidelined, busy with life and not deploying new capital, Solana DeFi didn't stop. If anything, it leveled up. And what's crazy is how much of that growth happened around JLP. Jupiter solidified its spot as one of the main liquidity routers on Solana, routing swaps across all major dexes, generating those fees and revenue figures I mentioned just moments ago. And again, driving a healthy portion of those gains straight to JLP holders. And projects like Camino Finance launched multiply vaults, offering one-click strategies that auto-loop JLP for enhanced yield. These vaults turned JLP into a yield-chasing machine without needing to manage leverage manually. And we even have the fact that protocols like DeFi Tuna and others have consistently provided great rates of interest on simply depositing your JLP for loan into the protocol for safer passive income. And let's not forget Drift Protocol. Their strategy vaults heavily feature JLP. You've got data neutral plays, leverage hedging vaults, and things like the insurance funding staking, all heavily leverage this one asset. So while I wasn't adding cash, my position in JLP was evolving. The tools around it got sharper, the ecosystem got deeper, and JLP became more versatile by the week. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just holding a token, I was holding a hub, a plugin asset that now connects to every corner of Solana DeFi. And here's where things get exciting. Holding JLP isn't just passive, it's created a toolkit of options for me. Some are simple, some more advanced, but all part of the same story. I can let JLP sit in my wallet and collect that native 18% APY. It's fully auto compounded, no lock, no claim button. It just works. I can use JLP as collateral to borrow USDC, unlocking my liquidity without selling my bag. I can then take that JLP USDC token pair and provide liquidity on Camino or Orca. And some of those positions are pushing 30, 40, or even 50% APYs right now. I can drop it into the Camino multiply vaults where it loops itself, set it and forget it, but will be mindful of liquidation risk for all of these strategies. And on Drift, I can enter strategy vaults with JLP as the base, some of which are compounding over 20 to 40% APYs right now. But this is bigger than just passive income. JLP gives me a reason to participate in DeFi, to stay plugged in, to explore, to add new layers of Legos. Even researching this video, I found 4 new protocols I'd never heard of before, all because I was looking for new ways to put JLP to work. That's the real value here. When you anchor yourself to a meaningful asset like JLP, the ecosystem builds around you. New yield farms, new lending markets, new airdrop opportunities. And as you interact with them, even just lending, staking, or experimenting, you're building exposure, staking rewards, and you're staying in the game. Crypto isn't just about catching that next 10x token. It's about sticking around long enough to see the good plays pay off. For me, JLP is that anchor. It's productive, it's versatile, and it gives me a reason to keep exploring. I'm really glad I didn't sell it. Even when life forced me to liquidate other positions, I held on to JLP. And at the time, it wasn't some grand strategy. It was just gut conviction. But now, looking at everything Jupiter has built around this token, it's clear that conviction paid off. Holding JLP let me stay connected to Solana DeFi during the rough times. And now that same token is giving me new ways to rebuild, not just passively, but creatively. Because here's the main takeaway. It's not about buying JLP. It's about recognizing when you've got your hands on a good piece of infrastructure, something foundational, and letting time, growth, and innovation do the rest. That's what JLP is for me, not just my biggest bag, my foundation. And that's my JLP story. And honestly, it's just the beginning. In the next videos, I'll be putting some of these strategies to test and doing explanations and breakdowns on the protocols that I alluded to. We'll look at Camino multiply vaults, DeFi tuna lending, maybe even some LP stacks, and see what actually works, what's worth doing, and how to stay smart while earning yield. So if you want to follow the journey, do me a solid, hit that like button, click subscribe, and let's keep cooking.